A brand new set, rod, reel, pole, everything. Brand new, every fucking thing. I spent like a half a paycheck on this trip. And one day, my grandma was there and she decided to go to the other end of the lake, which is, it's just stupid. You don't fucking do it. It sucks. It's terrible. The wind blows right in your face. It's always snowing sideways. And she just thought it was a good idea. So me, Chase, and my buddy Gabe, and his nephew, we decided to stay in the tried and true, and it was colder than hell, and they finally got cold, and they wanted coffee, so I gave them $100 to go down to the shop, and I said, give me some food, get you guys some coffee, bring me my change, really hoping I was going to get exact change. I never actually counted, but I'm sitting there by myself in footy pajamas. They have rubber ducks and bubbles on them, like full length. I had a special order, but they were badass, and I was warm. And it was coming down like sideways, like snow was hard, blistering, cutting my face up. I hated it. And finally I'm looking back and hoping to see my coffee. And here they come with a tinfoil wad of just what I assume is food. I don't really know at this point. I haven't seen it. And they get up and I walk up to the top of the jetty and they look at me and they say, hey man, we got you a burger and fries. And I was like, sweet. And I see the most gut-wrenching look in Chase's nephew's eyes. And he yells, Bubba, you got a bite. And I thought he was full of shit because he's a little kid. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to ignore it. I got food. I'm fat and I got food. I don't give a shit about the fish right now. And I turn around and I have no line in my reel. So I've run down there. I'm like, oh shit. And it's more like a waddle, just quick waddle. And I get down to grab my pole. He grabs the net and I reach down and the pole just goes, fuck you, straight into the water. Never saw it again. I was like, whoa. And he's standing behind me. He hasn't seen the pole because he's at my ass. And I'm just kind of frozen. And I'm like, what? No, that didn't happen. I'm crazy. My pole's right there. And he goes, dude, grab your pole. And I'm like, well, it would, but it's gone. And he goes, what do you mean it's gone? And I turn to my side, and he sees that my pole is no longer there. And we had these people down the way, and I asked him, I said, hey, if you catch a fish that has a bunch of line in its mouth, don't cut the line. Pull the line and see if a pole comes up. It's pretty expensive. And you can have the fish. I just want my pole. And we're sitting there, and 30 minutes go by, and I'm getting madder than hell because I didn't bring an extra pole. He's fishing still. And I couldn't fish. I didn't have my pole. And he goes, we're just standing there, we're looking at his pole, and all of a sudden it just starts to bend. It's like that, just really slow. And I'm like, what in the hell? And I say, Chase, you better reel in, dude. I think you're snagged. And he goes, yeah, okay. And he starts reeling in. And once we see his weight in line, there's a line bowed across it. So I grabbed it, and I was like I was holding the line. We were freaking out. It was a freaking shit show. And I feel what's flopping on this side. So I start pulling that in first. I could give a shit less about the pole because it was a big fish. I mean, it pulled an entire pole in and swam around with it for 30 minutes and still had fight. And I start pulling in the other side, and this lady is freaking out. She's calling me an asshole and telling me I'm taking her fish and shit and that that's her fish. And I lock eyes with this woman. Like, no, it's not your fucking fish. And she just looks down and you can see my pole coming up the whole length of the fucking lake. Just absolutely just like slow rolling, and she just watched it. And then I pick it up and I'm like, it's your fish. And then she reels in hers and it's straight out, and I was like, you're crazy as hell. And we get back to the freaking campsite, and I'm like, I'm so glad that Chase and all my other friends were there to see that, because otherwise they'd tell me I'm full of shit. And I am, but I mean, that time I wasn't. I mean, it actually happened. And I got this other buddy, Levi, and it's weird. All my lifelong friends, like the older ones that I met when I was younger, none of them hang out together with me. Like, it's me and one, and then the other ones are just somewhere else, and it's me and the other. This is a rare chance where Chase was hanging out with me and Levi, and a couple years before this happened, we were shooting slingshots at glass panes that his dad made, because he worked in a glass factory. And Levi is missing all over the place, and I actually know how to use a slingshot. And we're using ball bearings around on this big sand stretch, and there's this 3-story little thing we're shooting off of. And Levi goes, I bet you can't hit me with one of those ball bearings. And I'm like, oh, it's fucking on, dude. I'm gonna snipe you. And he goes, and this thing, okay, I'm 6'5". This thing is 5 of me tall. And he fucking takes the time to climb up to the top like Donkey Kong. And at 100 yards away, I draw back and I let go. And a couple seconds pass, I'm like, shit, I must have missed. And all of a sudden, like in a freaking war movie, his thigh just goes flying. And he just falls down the whole set of stairs and shit. And been a couple years, and we picked a bunch of crab apples, and I had my wrist rocket. And we were shooting it like, I don't know, it was pitch black. We were shooting into the light and seeing what would happen to the street lights. And here comes Levi. Bet you can't hit me with one of those crab apples. You're fucking on, dude. So he runs about 100 yards out and stands directly under the street light. Like, it's like freaking Flashdance. If he would have pulled a fucking string, it would have dumped water. Just a fucking bucket of water on him. And he's standing there, and he covers his face because he's actually, you know, not a dipshit in his balls, and he's standing there like this. And I didn't tell him, I was like, he had no idea when I was going to shoot. He was just waiting to get tagged because he knew it was going to happen. And Chase goes, dude, you're not going to hit him from there. That's hella far away. And I was like, watch this. And I pull back. And even more time, it had more hang time. So I was like, shit, I actually missed this time. And like a sniper movie, I just see apple juice just off Levi's head. Just falls straight back on his back. And he's laying there. We run up, and he's just like, God damn, I'm fucking stupid, man. You hit me before. And I'm like, yeah. I've fucking done it before. Why would you do it again? And he goes, there won't be a next time. Me and Levi are at the creek one time. And we're skipping rocks, and he goes, hey, I bet you if I skip a rock, you can't hit it with this marble. We went to Dollar Tree and got little marbles. And I was like, you're fucking on, dude. So he's skipping rocks, and I'm trying to judge when to shoot. And I pull back and shoot at this rock that he had just left his hand. And I swear to, I'll be damned if it didn't come back and hit him right in the wiener. I put a marble in his scrotum, like just straight up tore him a new one. And Levi goes, I'm fucking done with slingshots, dude. And I'm like, you should have been 2 years ago. I mean, I hit you in the head. And he goes, well, now you've hit me in my second head. Thank you.
All right, a little comedy with Leland. Give it up again one more time for Leland. Woo! We got about 4 or 5 more performers.